So today we're talking about how I was misdiagnosed with bipolar for 11 years. But first, if you're new here, welcome. Grab your warm cup of tea or coffee and get cozy. I'm Allison, and this is the ADHD Reset, where we talk about all things ADHD from gentle productivity routines and emotional regulation to calming and nourishing meals that make every day feel like a reward. So if you're ready, take a deep breath, a sip of something warm, and let's begin. I was misdiagnosed with bipolar 1 disorder, generalized anxiety, and major depressive disorder for 11 years. For 32 years of my life, I felt broken, unreliable, and ashamed of myself because no matter how hard I leaned into the various therapies, self care, and regulation techniques or medications provided to me, nothing ever truly got my moods or productivity in line. I was in a constant cycle of what I was made to believe were manic highs and depressive lows associated with bipolar disorder. It was only very recently that I met with a new psychologist, and within the first appointment, she realized something was not right about what I was presenting in my symptoms versus what treatment I was receiving. She saw with ease what no one else had until then seen. I was struggling from severe ADHD burnout. But how the heck did this go unseen and mislabeled and mistreated for so long? How did no one else realize that I was drowning in a cycle of dopamine storms and dopamine droughts for the better part of my existence? Well, it's actually more common than you'd believe. See, patterns of intense high energy that were mistaken for manic episodes presented with symptoms of impulsivity and poor decision making, feeling a little bit invincible from the highs and new ideas and plans and passions that would seemingly fade overnight, but also impatience and irritability around any interruptions to these trains of thoughts and actions, spending money that shouldn't be spent chasing the high of achieving this new shiny goal, poor sleep hygiene, restlessness, and chaos. Feeling invincible was only because I was chasing the high and making sure that it didn't stop. If I stopped, I'd crash and then I'd be scared. Also, this was followed by, this was a dopamine storm. It was all signs of mania if you didn't understand what was going on, but also signs of a dopamine storm and hyperactive and combined types of ADHD. The symptoms may look alike on the surface, but the neurological cause is vastly different when the brain is just flooding itself with dopamine and doesn't want it to stop. So it just keeps chasing more and more rewards for bigger and bigger releases. That is an ADHD dopamine storm. Whereas a bipolar person is exhibiting the same symptoms, but from misfired electrical signals in the brain causing serotonin and norepinephrine dumps. So in both ADHD and bipolar, these surges of neurological go-go juices, as I like to call them, will eventually result in a systemic crash. It's just not sustainable. So dopamine starts depleting, or the serotonin and norepinephrine will run low depending on which one you have. And then the brain freaks out. It doesn't know where to go. It doesn't know how to get back to baseline. It is scared, it's terrified, it's crashing. This is when people with ADHD will face the dopamine drought and bipolars will experience a depressive episode. So, in both ADHD and bipolar, the come down can present as a mixture of symptoms that reflect both the highs and the lows of the disorder before rapidly shifting to the severe low end of the spectrum. What this can look like is poor hygiene, skipping showers, not brushing teeth, apathy, low motivation, task paralysis, hopelessness, shame, guilt, avoiding things that we enjoy or are responsible for and want to do, brain fog, severe exhaustion, to name just a few of the things. The important thing here to note is that behind these actions in any phase, there are differences. For people with bipolar versus people with ADHD, the moving forces within us, the thoughts and the sensations in our bodies, our motivations are vastly different in presentations. At any point prior to the psychologist helping me, if someone would have actually sat down and asked me something like, I don't know, when you experience those extreme highs, what is your moving force that makes you tackle all of these projects and inputs? Why can't you stop or do anything else during those high energy episodes? And then they probably would have understood the actual problem immediately. All confusion would have disappeared. They assumed that I was led by feelings of grandeur, that I believed in those moments that I could do any and everything without consequence or danger, no matter what. When in reality, my ADHD brain was telling me, oh my God, there are so many things that need to be done. We have to do them all now. We have the energy. We have to use it. If we don't do these things right now, oh my God, horrible things are going to happen because we might not have this energy. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Things are going to burn down. You're going to lose this. You're going to lose everything. You're going to be on the streets. Oh my God, you have to do everything. That little cup on the table, it has to be cleaned now, immediately. Oh my God, there's a speck of dirt on the floor. Do it now. It was exhausting. It was extremely painful, anxiety, and an inability to comfort my nervous system. Until my brain was satisfied that everything that could cause any issues, if not perfected, was now perfected. And there were so many other things, like wanting to do these amazing things and put in all this effort to things, but then these things lose their spark and their excitement. And so I just dropped them because they're not fun anymore. They're not fulfilling anymore. And I didn't understand why they weren't exciting anymore and why I couldn't just stick to my passions and why everything felt so heavy all the time. There are so many nuanced symptoms that look the same outside, but are extremely different inside. Now that I have a proper diagnosis, I am able to understand what my brain and body actually need and avoid the burnout much more efficiently. I am able to not feel like a broken or unreliable human. I can work with my brain rather than against it. And so I stop losing interest in things a lot quicker because it's a steady input, it's stable, I'm not just ruining it. Let's see. Getting diagnosed with ADHD has changed my life. And I cannot wait to share everything I have and will learn with you. Until next time, though, this is the ADHD Reset, and I am your host, Allison. If you enjoyed this video or you learned anything from it, please interact and subscribe. Your interactions mean the world to me and to getting this information out to more people who may need it. Thank you. Until next time.